You wake up, and something feels off. You're busy, you're breathing, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but there's a weight in your chest, not panic, just emptiness. You look around and think, is this it? And no one notices, because from the outside, you're functioning, but inside, you feel lost, not because you're weak, not because you're broken, because you've drifted too far from your own compass. The Stoics warned us about this, that the most dangerous thing in life isn't pain, it's aimlessness. You don't fall apart all at once. You erode slowly, first in thought, then in routine, then in identity. Seneca wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." That's where you are. The wind blows, but you don't know where you're going. So everything feels heavy. Every decision feels pointless. Not because life is meaningless, but because your direction is. And the scariest part? You've adapted to this numbness. You've built habits around it. A lifestyle that avoids clarity. Because clarity demands you answer hard questions, like, what do I want? Who am I really becoming? What have I been avoiding because I'm afraid to commit? But here's the truth the Stoics knew. You can't find yourself by looking outside. You find yourself by stripping away everything that isn't you. And that's where we begin. So why do you feel lost? Because your life is filled with inputs, not intention. You scroll before you sit with your own thoughts. You compare before you clarify. You react to the world before you ask what you believe about it. And slowly, your inner voice gets drowned out. Not because it disappeared, but because you stopped listening. The Stoics were ruthless about this. They stripped away everything that pulled them off course, not just distractions, but even people, habits, and goals that didn't align with their inner code. Marcus Aurelius didn't journal to feel productive. He journaled to stay aligned. He asked himself, is what I'm doing essential? If not, he cut it. Not later, now. That's the thing about purpose. You don't find it by adding more to your life. You find it by removing what's false. The fake identities, the second-hand dreams, the paths that look good but feel dead. And here's the truth, nobody tells you. You can't find purpose while you're addicted to distraction. You can't gain clarity while you're numbing every uncomfortable emotion. You can't meet yourself if you keep hiding behind noise. Feeling lost is not a failure, it's a signal. A call to stop drifting and start deciding. Because the longer you float, the further you get from the shore you were meant to build on. If this message feels like it's exposing something, that's because it is. It's peeling back the layers of noise, expectation, and avoidance. And underneath all of it is you, unfiltered, undistracted, undeniable. That's the version of you this space is built for. Not the one that wants to be motivated, the one that's ready to stop escaping, to stop overthinking, to stop pretending like numbness is normal, because it's not. You're not here to wander, you're here to build. A life with direction, with command, with peace that doesn't collapse under pressure. And if something inside you feels that shift, that tiny but undeniable sense that you're done being lost, then it's time. Subscribe, not for more content, for more clarity, more rhythm, more reminders that your purpose isn't something to find, it's something to decide and live, right here, right now, one disciplined step at a time, because you don't drift into greatness, you steer into it. So how do you reclaim your purpose? Not with vision boards, not with endless journaling, with decisions, small, sharp, repeated daily. Step 1. Eliminate one lie you've been living. Maybe it's, I'm fine. Maybe it's, this job is temporary. Maybe it's, I'll figure it out eventually. Stop waiting for alignment to magically appear. Call out the lie. That's your starting line. Step 2. Define your non-negotiables. The Stoics didn't wake up asking how they felt. They asked, what must I do? Purpose isn't about mood, it's about mission. So ask yourself, what behaviors are sacred no matter what? Discipline, honesty, focus. Choose 3. Live them daily, especially when it's inconvenient. Step 3. Track your attention, not just your time. Time tells you where you were. Attention tells you who you were becoming. What you look at, you move toward. So reclaim it. Audit your scroll habits, who you follow, what voices fill your head before you've even heard your own. Cut what confuses, keep what clarifies. Step 4. Commit to something bigger than you. Purpose isn't just internal, it expands. What are you building? Who benefits from your discipline? The Stoics believed that virtue wasn't private, it echoed. If your goals serve only your comfort, they'll collapse the moment life gets hard. Clarity doesn't show up in a lightning bolt, it's forged. Through subtraction, through action, through brutal honesty with what you've been tolerating. And every time you get closer to the real work, the lost feeling fades. Not all at once, but enough to move, enough to decide. When you start living with this level of clarity, everything shifts. Your energy gets cleaner, your no gets firmer, your goals stop sounding like hope and start feeling like orders. You stop overthinking every move because you're no longer choosing from 50 confused options. You've already cut 45 of them. You're not searching for yourself in books, trends, or other people. You're remembering who you were before you started betraying your own voice. And that's what Stoic purpose builds, not a loud, dramatic life, but a quiet certainty. You wake up with weight. You walk with fewer questions. You stop performing, because who you are no longer needs to be proven. People around you feel it. They may not say it, but they sense. This person isn't lost. This person moves different. This person doesn't react. They respond. Because clarity removes panic, and purpose removes noise. You don't chase what's next anymore. You lead what's now. And that's how power returns, not as control over the world, but control over yourself. You don't need to know the entire map. You just need to take one step in the right direction, and once that becomes habit, you'll never drift again. Now you understand. You don't feel lost because life is meaningless. You feel lost because you've been living without deliberate direction. You've been floating, reacting, numbing, avoiding the very questions that could build you. But here's what the Stoics knew. You don't need to find your purpose. You need to face it. It's not out there waiting. It's here, buried under comfort, distraction, and the fear of making the wrong choice. But the only wrong choice is making none. Purpose isn't revealed. It's declared, and then lived, moment by moment, quietly, repeatedly, until it shapes you into someone even fear doesn't recognize anymore. So now the noise is off, the screen's still, it's just you, and a question you can't ignore. What truth about your life are you finally ready to stop avoiding, so you can start building what was always meant to be yours?